On the CBS 12 News on the CW34, vehicles up in flames and bodies cleared from roadways. A trip of a lifetime turns deadly, leaving the parents of 5 children in mourning. Tonight, we're learning one of the drivers is from West Palm Beach. Plus, a circle of trust shattered. Tonight, a man using a friendship to commit an unthinkable crime. And this isn't his first time. How a text message left a woman with a knife to her throat. And it's a childhood favorite, bringing a spark of joy to families who need it most. How these teddy bears are changing families, and it's all thanks to a teenage girl.
This is CBS 12 News at 10 on the CW34.
Good evening, and we begin tonight at 10 with the weather. You're taking a live look right now at downtown West Palm Beach this Friday night, and it looks like we could see our first cool down of the new year. That's right. Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen tracking those temperatures and our weather for the weekend tonight. Erin, what do you have?
Well, Paul, we've been watching this front over the past couple of hours, really losing some steam here, and we're certainly seeing that on our radar now. As it continues to track to the south, though, eventually it will bring us a few spotty showers here. By early tomorrow morning, we do have still that 30% chance for rain, but instead it will be that northerly flow that returns to our wind, and on the backside of the front, that will push that cold air our way. Cold, relatively speaking, colder from what we've been, but back down to normal, quite frankly. 75 for a high on Saturday, 74 on Sunday. The really big chill, that'll settle in Saturday night. And we've adjusted this, by the way. We've turned it down a touch. 53 degrees now, our forecast low Saturday night into Sunday morning, and that puts us 4 degrees below the average for that night. We are timing out the coldest air, so you can choose to either go out and enjoy it or stay in to avoid it.
Lots to talk about, Erin. Thank you. Heartbroken parents unable to give their kids a goodnight kiss tonight after tragedy tears 5 families apart. Killed at a fiery crash near Gainesville. These parents thought they were sending them on a trip of a lifetime to Disney World, but now they're forced to plan their funerals. Tonight, 7 people are dead, including those 5 children, after that horrific crash on I-75 yesterday. And tonight, we're learning one of the people killed, a truck driver from West Palm Beach. CBS 12's Vincent Crivelli has been digging through the truck driver's past all day. He's live in West Palm Beach tonight with the details. So, Vince, what have you found?
Good evening, Paul. 59-year-old Steve Holland is at the center of this fiery crash, and court records show he has a history of unsafe driving.
Anytime that we have loss of life, you know what I'm saying, it's tragic.
7 people died in the fiery crash, including 5 children riding in a church van to Disney World. The children ranged in age from 9 to 14. The church group was from Louisiana.
And they're just family people. Sometimes we worship on this side. Sometimes we worship in the sanctuary in the back. And they're just come on in. You know, age didn't matter, color, nothing mattered with them.
FHP troopers say Steve Holland was driving a semi-truck northbound when he collided with a car.
Oh, my Lord, Father God, be with everyone.
Then those 2 vehicles went through a guardrail and into southbound traffic, hitting the church van and semi-truck.
Once the semis struck, they both caught on fire, as well as the passenger car that was carried over from the northbound lane.
Authorities also say a 5th vehicle struck some debris or bodies in the road.
Oh my God, this is crazy. My heart is like pounding.
Records show between 2000 and 2014, Holland was ticketed in Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and Virginia for violations including speeding, driving an unsafe vehicle, not carrying proof of insurance, and driving an overloaded vehicle. And tonight we've learned of the 5 children killed. 3 were girls and 2 were boys. Now I reached out to the company Holland worked for comments, and to find out what he was hauling, they have not returned my phone calls. Reporting live tonight in West Palm Beach, Vincent Crivelli, CBS 12 News on the CW34.
Such a tragedy, Vince. Thank you. 50,000 gallons of diesel fuel fed all those flames. Now, the highway has since been reopened, and usually the National Highway Transportation would head up the investigation, but the partial government shutdown has furloughed their investigators. New tonight, a circle of trust shattered, a friendship at the center of an unthinkable crime. Tonight, police say they arrested this man, a convicted rapist, just released from jail a year ago. Now he's accused of holding a woman he knows at knife point, then raping her. CBS 12's Al Peffley live outside the Palm Beach County Jail tonight with reaction from one county agency that helps victims of rapes. Al?
Paul, one expert says this case is something that should alarm all of us, and some say it raises questions about the laws, whether the laws we have are tough enough.
That's a very sick individual, mentally.
Carol Messam-Gordon is with the Palm Beach County Division of Victim Services and Certified Rape Crisis Center. She says the case of Mark Lang is very troubling.
They should throw the book at him. This guy should spend the rest of his life in prison.
46-year-old Mark Lang, a registered sex offender from Riviera Beach, is charged with sexual battery with a weapon. Delray Beach police say Lang texted a woman that he knew and told her he had something for her. She went to a house on Southwest 15th Avenue and Lang was there. Police say he came out of the house armed with 2 knives and raped her in the yard outside the house.
Any sexual assault is severe, but when somebody, number one, has a weapon and is forcing you to do something, you don't have any control over saying no, or you could be injured. So yes, that is very severe.
This is video of Lang when Delray Beach police arrested him for another rape in 1996. He was convicted of sexual battery with a weapon or force. A judge sentenced Lang to 22 years in prison for that attack, and he started serving his time in September of 96. 20-plus years later, in December 2017, he was released. This means he's only been out of prison for about a year before he went out and allegedly committed another rape.
Obviously, this guy learned nothing in prison. There was probably no remorse because he comes out and he does the same thing again.
She says convicted rapists need to serve longer sentences and we need to make sure they get therapy.
Unfortunately, if they don't get some help, they are going to reoffend.
And I spoke by phone with the woman that Lang was convicted of raping back in 1996. She told me, quote, "I am shocked. I'm sad it happened again, and I don't think he needs to get out, period, because I still fear for my life." Lang is being held here at the Palm Beach County Jail without bond, and he's expected to go before a judge on this rape case tomorrow morning. Live near West Palm Beach, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News on the CW34.
All right, Alan, tonight a teenager is dead following a crime spree spanning 2 counties, and now no one will face charges in connection with his death. We have now learned the 16-year-old getaway driver, John Clark, will not be charged with murder. You might be asking why. Well, the state attorney's office says it would be difficult to hold up in court. At the same time, the mother of 17-year-old Jakeem McMillan now filing a lawsuit against a jewelry store employee who shot and killed the teen for robbing that store last month. Tonight, Martin County Sheriff's deputies say the employee acted within the parameters of the law. Gunned down on Christmas Eve, all while protecting his fellow deputies. Since K9 Sego's death, many have been looking for ways to help, while others are actually trying to make money over his death. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office sending out a warning saying they don't support that GoFundMe page you see right there, and it was not set up by them. The husband of the woman who created the page telling CBS 12 News she set up the page because she thought no one else was taking donations for K9 Sego and the money was meant for the Sheriff's Office. A memorial service for K9 Sego will be held next Thursday at 10 a.m. at the Coral Sky Amphitheater in West Palm Beach. Outback obsession. A Lake Worth woman facing assault charges tonight after Palm Beach County deputies say she attacked her parents with a knife. The reason they didn't take her to Outback Steakhouse. PBSO says 28-year-old Deanna Selzer, there she is, became enraged after she asked her parents to go to the restaurant and they said no. Deputies say she flipped furniture, even chased her father around the house with a knife. Well, preparing for an emotional and painful day. February 14th marks 1 year since 14 students and 3 teachers were gunned down in a place they felt safe. Now, there's no question that day is expected to bring back a rush of emotions for all the people involved in the mass shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School. Today, a group of local therapists attended a communal trauma workshop to prepare for what's to come.
We want to make sure that everybody we can touch is ready for what's coming and they have the tools to use that we can offer them so they can get the support that they need.
Now, there will be another training for therapists tomorrow, and then on Sunday, a workshop for MSD parents. That's followed by one on Monday for MSD staff. Well, for the first time this week, congressional leaders left the White House without a deal to reopen parts of the federal government. And tonight, the president says the government could be shut down for months or even years.
Democrats emerged from their second meeting with President Trump this week, calling it a sometimes contentious conversation.
We told the president we needed the government open. He resisted. In fact, he said he'd keep the government closed for a very long period of time, months or even years.
As the Democrats spoke, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell quietly left. And just a few minutes later, the president addressed the media in the Rose Garden.
The shutdown could go on for months or even a year or longer. Did you say that? And
I did.
Is that your assessment of where we are?
Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared.
It's the 14th day of the partial government shutdown, and the big issue remains funding for a border wall. About 800,000 federal workers are not getting paid. House Democrats passed 2 bills last night to reopen the government, measures that were also passed by the GOP-controlled Senate in the previous Congress. Leader McConnell has said the Senate would not consider those bills because they do not fulfill the president's border funding request. Yet, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and President Trump both offered a glimmer of hope for common ground.
Better understanding of each other's position when you eliminate some possibilities. If that's a judgment, then we made some progress.
I'm not saying it was an easy meeting or even a kind meeting or a nice meeting, but in the end, I think we've come a long way.
Trump administration officials and congressional leaders are expected to continue negotiations over the weekend. Federal lawmakers are not expected to return to Washington until Tuesday, which means that could be the soonest government could be reopened, according to the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
And the shutdown could have an impact on your safety when you take your next flight. The shutdown led to more than 3,000 support workers being furloughed, while more than 10,000 air traffic controllers continue to work without pay. Furloughed safety inspectors said planes haven't been inspected for 2 weeks and are still being used to transport passengers. One safety inspector even telling the Miami Herald, quote, "We're the last check of the box. Taking us out of it, mistakes can happen." On the other side of the break tonight, a victim of a violent crash. That man lay dying as he was robbed. The tragic surveillance video right there haunting a father tonight. Aaron?
Paul, the rain with our front might be fizzling out, but that cool air certainly isn't. That is still on the way. I'll time out the lowest of the low temps coming up.
All right, and an unusual tactic in a string of Florida burglaries, how a would-be thief couldn't steal cash from restaurants.
Next Daily Mail TV, why crashing, trashing, and thrashing has led to an all-out anti-scooter uprising.
Cities right now don't know what to do about them.
Then,
I've loved you since I met you.
Sex scenes with actors who couldn't stand one another.
Now I hate you.
And you'd never know it. Plus, a trainer to the stars, transforming Shawn Mendes and Julianne and Derek Huff.
Find that strength that I didn't know was there.
What he could do for your body. Daily Mail TV.
Proud partner of the CBS 12 News Network, the one to turn to.
A man in Ohio lays dying on the ground, but instead of getting help, a man steals his gun. Tonight, look at this. Pain pours from a father after his son was involved in a motorcycle accident that wasn't his fault. And right after the crash, that surveillance video right there shows the man who hit his bike snatching the victim's gun and walking away. Tonight, authorities are still trying to identify that suspect. Also tonight, a Pinellas County Sheriff's Office detective is out of a job after deputies say he showed up to a homicide scene drunk. Deputies say George Moffitt Jr. was off duty yesterday when he showed up to a deadly shooting with glassy eyes, slurred speech, and smelling like alcohol. Moffitt later admitted he had several drinks before heading to that crime scene. Documents also show Moffitt was the lead detective on the Michael Drachek case, which gained national attention over Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law. Caught on camera, a bizarre attempt to break into a safe at an Arby's in Castleberry. Take a look. Tonight, police on the hunt for the man who used a blowtorch. That's right, a blowtorch, but just couldn't open the safe to steal the money. Police called his efforts to break in, quote, intense. A children's toy no one is too old for, especially during some of the darkest days. Tonight, a 16-year-old girl is making sure that families can hold a piece of their loved ones again by making teddy bears for families of fallen officers.
It's extremely emotional, and it's very impactful for not only me but for the family.
Megan O'Grady started making Blue Line bears after 5 officers were killed in a shooting in Dallas back in 2017. Now, since then, she's created 450 bears and traveled to 34 states to deliver them. A Kansas City police officer has a new sidekick following a heartwarming rescue along an interstate happening right before Christmas. Take a look. Officer Jason Smith spotted a tiny kitten stranded, see, right there on a barrier wall. And that's, as you see, when he took action, bringing the tiny crying kitty to safety. The kitten, named Bella, is now a member of Smith's family, I should say. Well, age is just a number, right? And a woman is proving that with her spunky style and moves on the dance floor. I want you to meet Sylvia Sprecher. Here she is. She turned 106 years young today. Harbor's Edge in Delray Beach threw a party for her, welcoming friends, family, and residents to celebrate her milestone. Folks at the senior living community say Sylvia is very active, and clearly she loves to show off those dance moves. Erin Christensen here now, 106 years young. Can you imagine that? And she's got the dance moves to go with it.
That's fantastic.
It
Happy
is.
birthday to her.
Happy birthday to her. Hope she's watching. And hope it's not going to be too cool in the next couple of days.
Too hot, too cold, too dry, too wet. Nobody's ever happy with me.
I'm happy with you all the time. Come on, you and I are sidekicks.
You're like, I want it cool, but I don't want it too cool. And then I want it to warm up, but I don't want it too warm. And I don't want it warm for very long. And I don't want it cold for very long. You know what, Paul? This is the plight of the meteorologist, right? But I think I've got some good news for you. I really do. 74 degrees right now. Wind from the southwest at a mere 6 miles per hour. And you'd never know. Hey, we've got a big front getting set to slide through Florida. In fact, it's halfway through the state right now. I do want to point something out, though, on this graphic. You've got that line of rain, right? The line of demarcation, that frontal boundary, sort of the dividing line between two completely different air masses. It is starting to break apart already, but our wind particles here giving us an idea of the direction the wind is blowing to and the direction that it's from. So it's from the southwest right now, pushing to the northeast ahead of the front. But then look at these lines on the backside, right? They start to pick up more of a northerly component once this front moves through. There it is, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. We start to see that wind shifting, becoming more northerly as that little blip of rain moves through. Now, it's that northerly component to the wind that is critical in getting that cooler air to move in. Again, our rain looking pretty paltry here, but the best chance across Palm Beach County is going to happen between 5 and 6 a.m. Once we get beyond that time frame, we see just a few little spotty showers, not a whole lot to work with here. As far as that moisture is concerned, we do still have that 30% chance for rain first thing in the morning, but it's going to be the wind and the cooler air that really catches your attention. Back down to normal for us, 75 Saturday, 74 Sunday. Again, that overnight low, we have taken it down a tick or two here. Saturday night, we'll dip down to 53 degrees. Sunday night, 62. So we do warm up fairly quickly. Now, timing out the coldest of the cold, we're expecting the lowest of the lows here along the coast. Sunday, 6:40 a.m. That's when West Palm Beach will be at 53. The same for Stewart, Vero Beach, Fort Pierce at 50. Lows elsewhere, 51 Saturday night for Belle Glade, the same for Wellington. Again, that 53 for Lake Worth, Boynton at 54, 53 Palm Beach Gardens, 54 Jupiter Farms, Loxahatchee, did you catch that? 51, 46 for Okeechobee, 49 for Indiantown, and 50 for Vero Beach. And the boating conditions are not going to be too great tomorrow. Small craft advisory has been posted. The wind is going to be stronger tomorrow from what it will be on Sunday. Some improving conditions by Sunday afternoon. And the 7-day forecast showing we do warm up rapidly. We'll be back to almost 80 by Tuesday.
The plight of the meteorologist. Thank you, Erin. Up next, if you're looking for love in all the right places, you just have to know what to say. What dating apps say is the key to meeting your soulmate. That's next. Hackers are resurfacing in an old flaw to spread ISIS propaganda. TechCrunch found hackers are hijacking inactive Twitter accounts. Now, a report shows hackers are using accounts that never confirm their email addresses and spreading support for the Islamic State. Twitter has since suspended most of the accounts, but some are still active. A warning tonight over a popular Netflix film getting a whole lot of attention. A mental health expert says Bird Box should have a trigger warning. Now, people are taking to Twitter saying the movie shows upsetting depictions of suicide and characters with mental health issues turning evil and murderous. One expert even says that ratings would actually benefit from adding a warning and should portray mental health issues realistically to help reduce stigma. Well, if you're one of the thousands of Americans searching for love online, there may be a secret to finding the one. And the trick is adding the right interest to your profile. That's right, travel. That is the key to finding your soulmate. MarketWatch asked dating apps what people should include in their profiles, and the most common answers talk about travel or local adventures. More than half of the top 20 words mentioned in profiles with increased response rates were related to travel. Coming up next tonight, we've known him since he was a star at Boynton Beach High School. Lamar Jackson, yeah, that's who we're talking about. Well, he could be making NFL history this weekend right here on CBS 12 while looking for much more than that. Sports director John Evanson breaking it all down for us. That's up next in The Skinny.
South Florida Honda Sports Report.
Well, former Boynton Beach High School star Lamar Jackson will be the youngest ever NFL quarterback to start a playoff game this Sunday on CBS 12 at 21 years, 364 days young. The former Heisman Trophy winner will be celebrating his birthday on Monday, looking for an early present. It's what everybody's talking about. It's The Skinny.
With an AFC wildcard game win over the Chargers, Jackson would become the youngest NFL quarterback to ever win a playoff game, knocking off fellow mobile pivot Michael Vick, who pulled it off at 22 years, 192 days over the Packers in 2003. But this whole age thing doesn't seem to faze Jackson at all.
You gotta perform at your level too. You out there on the field just like anyone else.
No one out there at any age could keep the Chargers defense guessing more than the Palm Beach County product, finishing the regular season with 695 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns over 7 games, completing 65 of 114 passes for 786 yards and 4 touchdowns this month alone.
He's very mature. I think you guys see it. Players see it when he walks around. He's very comfortable with who he is.
Rookie QBs are 2-7 in playoff tilt since 2010. But something tells me Jackson is more than motivated to beat those odds as well.
And it's just the name, the playoff, that whole thing. You're trying to get the championship now.
And that's The Skinny.
Man,
what do you think of that?
That's
You
amazing.
don't get to see Lamar Jackson very often, you and I.
21 years old,
Yeah.
300 plus 364 days.
Yes.
That guy, I mean, defenses, they must be scratching their head going, what's up with this guy?
We've been watching it for years around here. Same
Yeah.
thing at Boynton Beach. He would, just pull off these amazing comebacks. He didn't know if he was going to run, pass, didn't matter. He's got it all. And now the Ravens are benefiting.
Right?
NFL.
And you know what? He's flying down the gridiron. He really is.
We love watching Lamar Jackson.
We
around
do.
here.
All
Yeah,
right.
They gave him an Athlete of the Week certificate.
There we go.
4 years ago.
Fist bump.
Look
All
at that.
right.
I wasn't expecting a fist pump, but thank you.
Always.
Yeah.
All right, after the break, John, Disney wants you to give them their new dessert a whirl, but the question, are you up for the challenge? We're going to show you the bowl of Sugar Rush. John, that's going to be interesting. That's next. Sugar Rush in a bowl. Take a look at Disney's latest food challenge, all in celebration of Wreck-It Ralph 2. The Plaza Ice Cream Parlor in the Magic Kingdom now selling Vanellope's Ice Cream Sundae. The $25 sundaes come with 5 scoops of ice cream, whipped cream, fruity cereal, chocolate candy, hot fudge, and cherries. Plus, you get to keep that souvenir bowl. I don't want the bowl, Aaron. I want everything that is in that bowl. 5 scoops of ice cream and everything on top?
Yeah. You had me until you said cherries.
You don't like cherries?
No.
No? Well, we could probably put something else on there for you. It's Aaron Christensen, right?
Well, here's your 7-day forecast. That's the cherry on top of your 10 o'clock newscast,
There you
isn't
have
it? We're looking at a nice weekend, 75 degrees, 74 on Sunday, warming back to almost 80 come Monday as well as Tuesday. That chance for rain hanging on tomorrow morning at about 30%.
53 degrees tomorrow night.
Yes.
Get your sweaters out.
Yep.
There you have it for us in South Florida.
Mhm.
Thanks, Aaron. And thank you for spending 34 minutes of your evening with us here on the CW. Daily Mail TV is next, and be sure to join me and Aaron later on for CBS 12 News at 11. And we leave you now with a look at our Sky Team 12 drone shot of the day. Well, we don't have it. Look at us. We'll see you at 11. Good night.